Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Ortega Lomayer, your host and producer of Elecciones 2018. Tonight we have Ana Sol Gutiérrez, and everybody knows Ana Sol Gutiérrez. She's running for District 1, and Santiago David Tavara, he's the editor of Metro Latino USA. Ana Sol, what makes you the most qualified candidate?
Well, I think that my highest qualification is my experience. I think that I bring to the council all those years of working budgets, of working policy, working legislation that is going to benefit Montgomery County. I've been on the school board, so I really understand what is the dilemma with the school board when it doesn't have sufficient researches and it's growing at such a fast pace. I also understand what are the problems when Montgomery County, as the wealthiest county, is not getting the fair share of the state. And working at the state level, especially on appropriations for so many years, I know where the money is, and I know that we, Montgomery County, is not getting the fair share.
What are the issues you're running for? What are your priorities?
Well, my priority, the reason why I even ever got interested in politics, is education. That to me is the primary driver of what it means to have opportunities. It's what gave me the opportunities in public schools to get an excellent education, to continue at the highest levels, to be able to be an engineer, a chemist. And I believe that every child needs to get the same opportunities that I had. So education continues to be the driver. I first ran because I saw so many Central American children arriving here in Montgomery County, escaping from the bombing of Reagan on Central America, and they were being treated as second-class citizens. And that's when I said, wait a second, they need a voice like mine on the school board. And that's when I ran without knowing really what I was getting into. Never been a politician. As I said, I'm an engineer, I'm a technocrat, and I then decided that they needed to have representation.
And I'm a witness how much people love you because I follow you since you became a board member in the Board of Education. I know, and we're pretty much sure that all the Latinos in your district are going to vote for you.
I don't have Latinos.
You don't have
My
Latinos.
district has changed drastically. There are very, very few Latinos. Right now, I have the beautiful legislative district that goes from Chevy Chase up Connecticut Avenue through Kensington and into Wheaton and Silver Spring and some of Bethesda. And it has the largest number of voting Latinos in the state of Maryland. I lose them. I now am running the other direction, westward, Chevy Chase, Bethesda, and Potomac. And when I do the numbers, there are very, very few Latinos. I'm going to reach out to them. But it's not going to be the same incredible support that they've offered me every time I've been elected, where it's been an absolute commitment on their part and on my part to get them involved.
Interesting, huh?
Yes, oh no.
But it's still, that district also, they know you.
They
for
know me.
Years
they
and
know
years
me.
and years.
Yes, and obviously, when you're sitting on the county council, you represent all of Montgomery County.
Exactly.
Not because I'm elected in one district am I going to forget.
Can you tell me about your achievements as a state delegate? Why did you decide to go to council? What's the difference now?
Oh, why did I decide to leave the state level? Well, I've been there 16 years. I think that's a pretty long time. I was there for 4 years in Judiciary Committee, which taught me an awful lot about law. I'm not a lawyer. And so I really think those 4 years were very good at understanding what the state role is in all of our lives, and especially because it makes laws. I also moved on to the appropriations, and that's been fascinating. 12 years of making the budget of Maryland. And that means that really it decides the impact on all of our lives, much more so than the federal level. And I've been there. I've been very much of a progressive voice. And unfortunately, Annapolis is not a progressive town. The state of Maryland is not a progressive state. So I propose, I try, I make changes. It's been very hard to have the achievements that we have. We have obtained. We have the DREAM Act. We have the equality, the marriage equality. We have transgender rights. We have many civil rights. We have been able to maintain the driver's license, which was my first battle, to not take away driver's licenses from Latinos, from immigrants. But there are many other issues that I've brought up that have gone nowhere, things that would protect our consumers. So what I did was say, all right, do I run for another 4 years and stay in this environment, or do I see what other options I have? And lo and behold, 3 factors had come up. One, there was term limits, and all of a sudden, there was an open seat in the district where I've lived all my life. 2, there was public financing. I really believe in public financing, and so I wanted to be one of the first ones to do it. And then the third is Mr. Trump was elected. And there was no way that I was going to sit down and just cross my arms and watch what the destructions that he was proposing.
By the way, a lot of people are sending messages and they are watching you.
What?
One of them is Mark Madaleño, Eddie Gonzalez, Zulma Aparicio.
Oh, how
And
wonderful. Hello, everybody.
Yes. I'm looking forward for you to win these elections, Anna, because I know that you're going to bring so many changes that are necessary in the county council.
Well, I hope so. I hope that it's only going to be 9 people. I think it's easier to work with 9 people than 141 in the House, and then with a Senate that is really not interested in change, not interested in women, not interested in poverty. While here, 9 of us, especially now when we're going to have very many new faces and new ideas, I'm hoping that the voters are going to see that Montgomery County is at a real crossroads. We have incredible lack of equality. We are really 2 Montgomery counties.
Yes.
We have one that's very poor, that has a lot of needs and affordable housing and jobs and that. And we have another side that is extremely wealthy. I think we need to make this work. We need to make that Montgomery County that it has very different populations, different needs. We need to bring that together and be the glue. And I think we can do that.
There is a budget deficit now. Do you support an increase of the minimum wage? And if there are cuts, what do you want to cut? What programs?
Well, we already passed the $15 an hour wage, and it will be implemented. We were ahead of the state. We're now fighting for it at the state. But again, there is really no interest in leadership to move forward with that. They say it's an election year, and this is not the year to propose such things. So I'm very proud of Montgomery County. We do have the need to cut, I think, $225 million. But can I tell you that is really not that difficult to find where it is that we can cut to reach that amount. We are going to, in the next budget year, have an incredible abundance of money because of the tax cuts that President Trump has implemented. Montgomery County, because we have so much wealth, is going to have, at the state level, it's predicted about $400 million extra. In our budget, we have been able to fence some of that off just in case something happens, but we are also looking to see that we can move forward in school construction. We desperately need school construction, that we can fund our schools, can cut class sizes, we can get rid of some of those portables. There's major changes being made at the state level, and I want to be here in Montgomery County where we have such good.
How many portables do we have?
Every school has portables. I don't think
It's
there's a single school that doesn't have any question.
shame on us.
Well, you can't build schools that fast or without the money, the resources. And because we don't get the fair share, just let me tell you, Montgomery County gets the minimum amount of share from the state in school construction. We get 50% of what it cost us in certain areas. Baltimore City gets 93%. That means that the state, and you and I as taxpayers, are building their schools. So I'm not saying that they don't need it. I'm not saying that they don't have poverty. But we're growing at such a fast rate that what we're doing is crowding our classes so much that the quality of education in our classrooms is worse now than it was when I was on the school board.
By the way, Jill says hello.
Hey, Jill! Yeah, Jill's running too.
Santiago.
What about transportation? Do you support the Purple Line? Not other projects?
Oh, have I supported the Purple? I supported the
She
Purple
created
Line
it.
before it was called the Purple Line. I was very supportive when we first got $25 million from Schaefer. Governor Schaefer said, "Okay, we got to keep them quiet. Here's $25 million. Build your line." And it was only from Bethesda to Silver Spring. And we were quibbling and we didn't know what to do. And we said, maybe we don't do it now. And we lost the money and we lost the opportunity to use the train tracks that already existed. But since then, we've had barrier after barrier, lawsuit after lawsuit. But nationally, the Purple Line is the best transit program in the nation. It will move more people from jobs to where they live than any other project that's been proposed to the federal level. We have the federal funding. I'm so glad we're finally going to be able to see it. I'm hoping I'm around in 2020, I think is when it's supposed to go into. But let me tell you, there's been a cost to my supporting the Purple Line. I've been the only one in my legislative district that's been dedicated to supporting it without flinching. I live where the country clubs are. And the country club wanted to keep the Purple Line out of the area that was really county land, because they had two of their holes on county land. So there was a big push, and the whole neighborhood, the whole neighborhood that doesn't want to have the Purple Line there, and they're the ones that I hope that now they understand that there's no way that this will be stopped and that we really do need to support it. And you know why? Because there are people that are taking 2 or 3 buses every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're leaving their kids. They're coming home late because of all the bus transportation that takes them home and brings them to their works, primarily in Bethesda. It's a social justice issue. I think everybody deserves reliable, high-quality transportation. And that's what the
Vladimir Pana says hello. Santiago.
Can you tell me about yourself? What do you do? Where do you live? For people who...
About myself, in case they don't know me. My name is Ana Sol Gutiérrez. No, I'm from El Salvador. I am an immigrant. Though I never had the experience that so many immigrants have. Here I came many years ago to Chevy Chase with my family. My father worked at the World Bank and the IMF. And we went back to El Salvador and then we came back again. So I've had the opportunity to be bilingual, bicultural, since I was about 4 years old. And that kind of opportunity is really what has provided so much to me to be able to represent all the diversity that we have in Montgomery County. I live that diversity, not only culturally, linguistically, but I think in terms of understanding. And so that's who I am. As I said, I studied chemistry and systems engineering. I had 3 sons. I was a single mom. Now I'm the proud grandmother of 7 kids, and I've lived in my house since 1968, right in the heart of Chevy Chase. So I went to school here. I went to BCC. I went to public school. My kids went to public school. So I'm very, very at home here. I can't imagine myself living any other place. And I want to make this the place that works for everybody. Not only those that can afford the big houses and that, but everybody who's contributing with their work to make Montgomery County such a tremendous county that it is.
Tell us about your endorsements.
Oh my goodness, I am so happy with my endorsements. I have the teachers, Apple Ballot, which is one of the ones that I was really looking to have because they've always been my supporters, but I didn't know what was going to happen this time. So I have that. I have the companion union in the school system, CIU Local 500. They're the paraeducators, they're the bus drivers, they're the people that support the whole school. They're also the adjunct professors. They've grown so much. I was there when the union was not SEIU Local 500, but it was Missy. And I think my interview with them was like old times. We remembered so many things about Missy. I also have CASA's endorsement. I have Progressive Maryland's endorsement. And I'm hoping that pretty soon we'll be able to announce a couple of other endorsements that right now I can't make public. But to me, what that says is that I'm a proven quantity. People know they can trust me. I have a record of votes that is available for anybody to see. I'm not going to all of a sudden change and not support labor, not support workers, not support wages, not support jobs. Those are the bread and butter issues that I think I truly believe in, and that I want to make sure that they remain strong in our community.
There are two issues. I don't know if they're related, but from the local level, what can you do on the Me Too movement to empower women? And the other thing is gun control. You know, people are afraid to go to school, to go to movies because, you know.
Good. Thank you for the question. This is an example of what I said, how much power the state has. We, Montgomery County, cannot regulate guns. The state can. And in 2013, I'm very happy to have been part of a very large effort for gun control that made Maryland really to this day one of the best aggressive gun control states. Two of the measures that were included in Governor O'Malley's bills were my bills that I had introduced before and didn't go anywhere. But when the governor says he wants gun control, then everybody listens. One was to reduce what's in the magazine of a gun. Rather than 100, 200, we reduced it to 10. And another one was that if you lose your gun, you have to report it in 24 hours. And apparently the police found that incredibly useful because they now can trace guns that are supposedly lost, and they really can find them where they are. So that this year, this session, we got rid of the bump stocks, the ones that make these assault rifles, machine guns. That was what was used in Las Vegas. We are also proposing much more training, much more rigorous protection. The problem is that it can't be done just in Maryland. You can cross into Virginia and you can buy an assault weapon. They're prohibited in Maryland, but they're not in Virginia. You can buy whatever you want. We have universal registration, but it's only in Maryland. So until we see at the national level, that's why that march last week, which I adored, I was so happy to be there. It's that kind of national movement and pressure that we need. I'm so proud of all those young people, all those young voices. They're incredibly articulate and mature in what they are saying.
They will stay in our minds forever.
Forever. They're more mature than Congress. I hate to say that. And then your last question, your other question of the Me Too movement. Again, I am so proud to see how women have said, ya basta, it's enough. We need to stand up and we need to not allow what's been a long, long existing tradition where women just put their head down, don't report when they are being abused, when they're being maltreated. And again, at the state level, we passed one of the strongest sexual harassment policies because, unfortunately, Annapolis is a male-dominated environment, and it hasn't changed overnight. It's still very much a macho dominated environment, but I think we are now seeing that young women, especially young women, because old people like me, that I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get picked up in sexual harassment.
We have one more minute. What do you want to tell your voters?
Oh my goodness. Well, that I hope that that I've been able to demonstrate through my life record, through my actions, and more actions than words, that I really am committed, that I have a passion for making life better for everybody. I really seek social justice and equity. And whenever I don't see it, whenever I see that it's being violated, that's when I want to take action. That's when I want to fix it. So I know that being a council person, you need to have a very broad range of actions. I'm a good student. I already know a lot because I've been connecting dots for a long, long time. And so I hope that you'll support me and that you'll help me be able to continue serving our community for a little bit longer.
Thank you very much, Ana Sol, for being with us tonight. We enjoy very much your participation. Thank you, Santiago.
Thank you.
And thank you to all the viewers in Facebook, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you.
Good night.
I love this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.